Hey there, everyone. Now, most people like to sweat these haters or swunt them, um, like I was doing before I started this video here. But today we're gonna work through this kill mission a little bit. I want to make a big dent in it, and so we're not gonna be swunting. Although they are great to swunt. They have 300 hit points. Each one you can sweat for an hour-ish by yourself, depending on your defensive skills and whatnot. Um, but I thought we would actually just kill them. And we're gonna work through our this little kill quest. I think there's evade at one of the levels. I'm not sure which level that is. Whether it's the level we're on, the next level, or a level I've already actually hit. Not 100% sure. But I thought it'd be fun to just kind of go through and kill the haters. They say don't sweat the haters, or there's some weird saying like that. Like basically, you have a bunch of haters that don't like you, people that don't like you in general, and don't pay them any mind. But today we're gonna kill them. Doesn't look like any more haters down there or down there, so we'll be heading back this way. Normally I like to post up in that corner, but I'm trying to stay out of the way of those two. Ooh, that was a nice little hit there. 16 ped. So they take about a ped to kill. So when you get a big multiplier, you can get some reasonable sized little hits. I've globaled on them before, but only like one time, I think. And so that way these guys still have a couple that they get to rotate in on, so they can keep swanting. Um, it's a pain in the butt if you're trying to just swat a mob and then there's just someone who just kills everything. And so I try not to be that guy. Uh, Again, I just try to advocate being nice. Um, it just goes a long way. Basically, don't be a dickhead. No one likes a dickhead. I don't care if your name is Richard. You still can't be a dickhead. And so, uh, anyway, basically a little bit of kindness goes a long way in both the real world and the virtual world. I mean, whatever world you're currently in, it's not going to hurt to show a little bit of kindness to your fellow man or woman. I think you know where I was going with that. Doesn't hurt to be nice. We've got a few good hits, but it doesn't look like anything really great so far. And that 12 head hit really stands out. And so if you're, I guess, looking for some muscle oil, this might be your jam. I tried looking up the reward on the haters mission earlier and I couldn't find it. So I might not have been looking in the right spot. But you see they spawn really fast, and so if you were swanting, there's room for 4, 5, 6-ish people um, to be each have one in their own little respective corner, so to speak. A lot of people like this guy back here on our left a little bit. He's pulled it back behind the building. That guy way over there has actually pulled it past that light pole and out that alley, kinda, and down a little bit. I like to post up where we started in this video, just in that little cubby hole. There's two little cubby holes back to back there that you can post up in. And since they spawn right out here, it's a real quick pull. I haven't really got doubles unless I messed up on the pull section of pulling it back. And these things have a pretty wide range of loot. Um, I mean, right now we can't really see it, but I've got silver flasks and other random crafting loot off these guys pretty regularly. Again, they take about a ped in ammo each to kill, give or take. I haven't really timed it or looked at it with the weapon I'm using. I remember I was using like a Pyro 1 chip when I looked at how much it cost to kill each one. But at three damage per pack, 300 hit points, it's about a ped. And so depending on how efficient you are with your particular setup, you should be right around that one ped mark, I bet, per kill. And so that's part of their appeal a little bit. A lot of times the returns aren't real great on them, unfortunately. 50% ish, you see about a ped per kill. That one was about 50 pack. The last one was about 50 pack. Um, but depending on how much you're able to sell the sweat for, each one of these has about 39 to 50 pack in sweat. And so that really offsets the cost, so to speak. It really slows down your kill rate. Don't get me wrong, but you get basically an extra, we'll call it 40 pack for simplicity's sake. And so basically you're able to add 40 pack in value to every kill. And so like that one right there, that would have been a slight profit. It's still a slight loss for us. Would have been a slight profit maybe. Um, that one, you can't do nothing about that. That was a loss no matter how you were going. Swunter, non-swunter. And so swunting just adds value to the stuff that you're going to kill anyway. I've heard people say that it takes away from the value of the stuff you get, but the trade terminal value on even 300 sweat is less than one peck, and so I'm not sure how much of that um, I buy into. But if someone has some data they want to throw down, I'm more than happy to look at it and maybe change my mind. There's just a lot of theories where people say this detracts from that, or the only thing I would say is maybe they start the encounter timer from when you gain aggro, and if that's the case, they have stated that if you take a really long time to kill something, that you get a little. I'm not sure if they said less or the loot composition is worse. Um, I don't. I don't really remember how that conversation went. I remember seeing it a few months ago when I was in Calypso chat, and they referenced an article, but they don't actually talk about when the timer starts, how long we're talking on it takes to kill a mob. Like if you sweat a hater first, is that going to put you passive? It's they're like 10 minutes. Do they count it from when you gain aggro or from when you first start doing damage? And so I would have some questions on how it actually worked. And even if that were true, I would have some questions on the mechanistics of because I've done pretty well on swunting. I've actually swunted. I've hit a 200 peg global on these guys before, I think it was, or 150 or something. It was pretty reasonable. I was really excited about it. And I haven't personally seen a big shift in the loot breakdown based on whether I've taken the time to sweat a mob first or not. Um, with the haters and the higher hit point mobs, maybe you start getting into the time frames where that's more of a concern. A lot of times I'm only sweating young mobs. 60, 80 hit points is typically where I kind of cap out on being able to do them back to back to back, so that I don't have to take healing breaks and whatnot. Oh, we're getting a little bit of wool. That's good. I get too much of it, and I'll have to mothership when I go to Cyrene just to take all the wool and stuff for the daily mission that's out there. When we get there, we're gonna try and do a couple of dailies, um, and they're pretty easy. But since all the dailies on Cyrene are one success apiece, um, but it'll help us work up some of those our manufacturing skills that are lagging, um, because doing giant runs of weapons or armor or tailoring is kind of prohibitively expensive. Or rather, we would have to choose to not be doing a bunch of other stuff if we chose to do that. And I like being able to go around in codex and hunt and work on little quests and stuff like that. So we'll be going a different direction from that. Yeah, nothing amazing so far, but we are churning through some haters. They can keep on hating because I got me a Armatrax pistol with their name on it. Pew pew. But yeah, this kill hater line at one point gives a pretty substantial evade reward, is my understanding. And so that's why I try to slowly work through it, especially since they haven't codexed yet. And so I don't know when the next big version update's going to be. Probably in March. And so I probably have about a month to knock these little missions out if I desire, to really push them forward. And I do, but they get lost in the shuffle with everything else I want to do sometimes. The whole there's only so many hours in the day, so to speak. That wasn't a little bad hit. I mean, not amazing, but also not bad. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It looks like there might be even three people sweating, and there's still plenty of haters to go around for everyone. Kind of nice we're getting some animal hide. I have a blueprint for entry level whip that I still haven't made. Um, I really need to take the time to make that now that I'm thinking about it, especially if we get a lot of hide. Um, because it takes that generic leather, I'm pretty sure, and some other stuff. But I think I have most of it on Calypso already. Might have to do some EP runs for some residue and knock a few of those out so we have some whips. I haven't really done much animal taming, so that'd be kind of a new experience for me. And I know that there's a taming mission on Cyrene. I think it gives biology or zoology. I don't remember which one. It was one of those tree cutting skills that go into the looter profession. That was really bad loot on that last one, 30 pack. I'm kind of shocked we haven't seen a silver flask yet. Or what are they called? Silver shakers, maybe? They look like a whiskey flask to me. Um, I don't recall them being that uncommon. But I guess we've only killed about 75 or so. And so we'll see how it looks here after another handful of kills, say 25. I know a bunch of these little records are used for random stuff. I just don't remember what goes to what. But you see, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at the market value. They all have a little bit of markup when they do sell. You also see that I have too many items, and they're going to be mad at me in a second if I get anything else that I don't already have. It's alright, we'll just have to make sure to hit a storage unit before we log off. Otherwise, some of the items might not be there or some such. They give you a nice warning if you go to log off and your item counts over 200. Alright, back to killing them. See, 30 stamina equals 300 hit points. I was just seeing if we would get a xenobiology upgrade or skill up since I only have 20 points so far. I occasionally like to just randomly scan a few things because that skill is really going to limit me and hold me back. Is my worry. That was a reasonable little hit, 3 ped. Well, maybe those silver flask things are a little more rare than they used to be. It wouldn't shock me if they adjusted the loot. Oh, that was a nice little hit. 7 ped. I was kind of hoping to get something useful, but I actually wouldn't know it if we got something useful, if to be honest, since I don't do a lot of crafting on Rocktopia. So I'm kind of just working through the quest, trying to get some skills, hoping for something cool to happen, I guess. Right? Everyone wants something cool to happen. Item, a global, some randomness. Big evade skill boost at the end of the 1,000 haters would be nice, though. I just think that that might be the level 4 or level 5 quest, and this is just the level 3 one. So it might be the kill 5,000 or 10,000 one that is the good evade reward. And killing 10,000 things that cost a pet apiece is a little expensive, especially since they could codex as soon as 1 month. Well, that's nice hit, 6 ped. So I guess if you were wanting to do some simple one conductor runs between the werewolves and these guys, you'd be pretty styling. We're getting a fair amount of muscle oil here. I got some pretty reasonable amount of eye oil there. We would still need a more for a big run, but that's definitely a reasonable amount. Let's keep these kill counts rolling. I want to get it through at least 200. Now we're getting into the mobs I don't want. We're not trying to hunt these things. Yeah, they definitely don't take very long to kill, so you can churn through them pretty quickly. And we got over 100 in a pretty short amount of time, 30, 40 minutes probably. I wish they had some loot that had a little bit better markup. Um, outside of the CDs, I think everything else seemed a little on the weak side, we'll say. And again, that's if you find a buyer since they don't go in the auction house regularly. And that could just be that there's not someone putting them in the auction house regularly for them to be bought out. It could be that they don't get used that often. It's really hard to say. But a pretty wide diversity of loot, which seems to be pretty common on Rocktopia. I mean, very few things only drop like four things. I'm not going to name any names, Toll and Tab Tabs, but these have a wide range of items they can drop, unlike those where it's literally some shrapnel, one type of extractor, one type of hide, and maybe and a couple other related drops. These have 10, 20 drops that they have, and so it's a significant amount more. It would just be nice if one of them had some markup somewhere along the way, uh, instead of it all being, but it's looking like trade terminal fodder in all honesty. Yeah, I wish more of the loot got used on these planets. I like how Tolan did the everything has goes into a blueprint or has a use in some capacity. I think it really helps with the economy on that planet, which in the past has been less than stellar. But it looks like it's starting to shape up over there into a respectable planet. I mean, it's a small planet. It's never going to be the home of uber hunters or really high level people like that. Just because there's not mobs there for them, there's nothing for them to want to be there for. It's a bunch of low level creatures or low mid level creatures, which is great for a starting avatar or a low mid level hunter uh, or a swunter. It's great for those types of people. So it's great for me there, but less great for someone who's level 90. Unless they're there for the Wahesh Evolved event at the end of the month. That's different. Oh, that's a nice little hit. 23 pet. Now we have too many items. They're gonna make us walk slow. Oh, that is a bummer. But since they gave us a storage terminal right there, they really did make this area perfect for the person that wanted to swunt. They just pull this back. You ever get overburdened, you just drop some stuff off, and then all of a sudden you're good to go again. That's kind of epic. Well, we don't want to take too much time away from our hunt here. We get overburned again, we'll go back. We'll drop something else off. Well, all in all, it's been a good skill day. We've got a few good little mini hits off these haters in our little mini hunt that we did here. Yeah, that silver flask must be pretty rare since we're nearing 160 kills without having seen one. In the past, it was not that rare, and so it was kind of shocking me. But things change, I suppose. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Sometimes the better for someone is not the better for you. Like when they fixed the bar instance here. I used to love that instance. In fact, if it was still not fixed, I would just be sitting in the bar instance doing it repetitively again and again and again. And you might ask why I would do that. And the answer was guaranteed 10% returns. You wouldn't make much because the amount spent in each little instance was low, but every time I went in there, I could count on 10%. I'd buy 5 pen and guns and ammo. I would burn it out. It would take a little bit, half hour, 45 minutes, because they were trade terminal guns. And I would count on an 30 to 50 pack in my pocket. Now, eventually, when they pieced that together, that people were just using that to generate cash for themselves, they put a kibosh on that and redid everything. But for a while, it was super epic. Literally free skills every day. Yeah, we're gonna at least hit that 200 mark. We're getting pretty good kills, um, or at least they're still coming pretty quickly. Although it's starting to get a little more populated out here, and I don't want to detract too much from the people that are trying to sweat and get ahead, or that are new trying to fund their first hunt or their next uh, deed or whatever. Um, because that's how funded my first deeds anyway. Here on this planet, even not up here. I didn't really know about this spot back then. Um, I would go to that Tangerine South down here, the Studio South, and do the haters down there. Um, but I sweated and traded. I want to say, um, 28,000 sweat or something like that. The sweat was going for 1.8 per ped per K, and I think the deed was going for about 45 ped or 45 to 50 ped, somewhere in that zone. Um, and so the first few deeds I actually traded sweat for, or I sold sweat and bought the deed. Um, Especially for my first fiber. So, and then in the after I got up into the 20 or so, I was doing a like a pay to click website type deal. It was called Swagbucks, uh, and I would use my winnings from that into PayPal, and I would use buy the Arcadia Underground deeds out of the web store when they were in the web store. And I probably bought 50 or 100 that built up to about 50 or 100 that way. And then they weren't in the web store anymore, obviously, because they all got bought out and it became a person-to-person transaction. Uh, and then I diversified out, got a little Calypso deeds, and so you can really take a little bit and snowball it to where you can sweat and make a little bit of money. Not amazing. Uh, let's be honest. Two ped is 20 cents in U.S. dollars, and even an Arcadia deed right now is $10, I think. And so it would take a while, but if you don't have the ability to deposit, you can still pull and get returns enough to fund a lifestyle game for you. You'll just have to detail it to how much your earnings are. You'll have to play poor if you want to increase the amount that your earnings are getting. Or on some weeks, you may want to use all your dividends and not roll any of it back because there's something specific that you wanted to do that week. Or you're just not feeling it. You really just want to go have a bunch of fun. And so finding that balance on a personal level is kind of the challenge there. Let's see what these last few haters have for us. And then we'll let these sweaters be. Oh, that was a nice little mini little hit there. Four ped. The best part about the haters is that you can AFK sweat them. They don't hit hard enough to actually kill you. If you have reasonable defensive skills and any sort of regeneration item, anyway, they'll have a hard time killing you. And so you can pull them. You can literally set yourself up at 300 sweat. I think I typically only get about 200, 250 sweat an hour, because just how fast they attack. And so it literally sets you up for 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes where you can go do something else, work on something else, um, make some dinner, make a run down to the grocery store, whatever little mini errands that you need to do. Oh, that was a nice little, not horrible hit. Oh, and another one there. So there we have it. Um, there's a couple hundred haters put down. Um, we're gonna let these sweaters do their thing. I might join them here for a little bit. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. Stay epic.